My dream and my goal is to become the biggest filmmaker of all time. And I'm not exaggerating that at all. I even got Charlie Chaplin on this wrist as a little reminder. All right. Fuck. Okay, so clock is about 7 and we're in the capital of Sweden, Stockholm. I just finished a client filming, a client shoot. It was the first time ever with that client. It's a retainer, which is very nice. I'm usually not in these parts. I live in a small city called Uppsala, or it's quite small compared to the capital. But I've decided to kill a couple of hours here before I head home. I want to actually make some content out of the city's aesthetics, do some yapping, and we see what happens after that. You know, it's quite funny when I compare this to other places when I record myself in public. Sweden is very special. Like when you walk around like this, holding a camera, talking, you get so many eyes on you. Like, hello vlog. Sha, sha, sha. Like now, for example. It's fun, it's fun. Sometimes you get the evil eye though, and that's not so fun. But I think it's a good way of training not to care so much. But yeah, sometimes it's a bit, not nerving, but can be a bit distractful, getting a lot of attention when you're just recording yourself. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. It kind of says a lot about the place, like depending on how people react when you do things like this. With that being said, we definitely need to normalize making content in public in Scandinavia. Something I really appreciate with these parts is the like old aesthetics of the city and very tight spaces, you know. Reminds me a lot of Rome. For the ones who know me, probably a very few who's watching this, knows that I love Rome. I love Rome with all my heart. Like it's, like aesthetically, it's so beautiful. You know, walking around with a camera like this, people are thinking I'm a tourist. That's how unusual it is for a Swedish local person to walk around with a camera. But I guess somebody gotta do it, right? All right, so right now we're at a place called Old Town in Stockholm. This is my favorite part of this city. I like the aesthetics. It's quite cute. It's like a little fairy tale. I'm a huge fan of Rome. Yeah, kind of reminds me of Trastevere. All right, so I'm thinking I want to do. So for those of you who don't know, which is probably everyone, my name is Alex. I'm 26 years old, and 5 months ago, it was in November, I quit my 9-to-5 job as a bar manager. It was a role I had for like 1 to 2 years, maybe 1 year and 8 months, something like that. I just quit my 9-to-5 job as a bar manager to become a freelance videographer and a filmmaker and do content full time when it comes to my own passion projects and for clients as well. A lot of things has happened, and the plan was actually to record everything since I quit the job. I did record a couple of videos, or actually a lot, but I didn't really have a plan. And to be honest, when I look at it now from another perspective, I'm quite happy I didn't start then, because as soon as I quit my job, I was so fucking stressed, because the plan has been and the plan is still to, you know, build a new career in something I've never done before. Now I've done it for a while, but 5 months ago, I was brand new to this industry, like the creative industry. You know, when it comes to marketing, videography, editing, making money out of that was quite new to me. So I was super stressed. I really wanted to start YouTube back then. To be honest, it was a lot of procrastination in the beginning. Although I have a lot of content recorded from like 4 or 5 months ago, I'm definitely gonna use it as B-roll sometimes when I do story time. So to somewhat summarize these months since I quit my 9-to-5 job, like a lot of things has happened. Like I've done a big progress when it comes to getting clients and, you know, getting into this space and making a little brand for myself. I would say a mix of everything has happened in life. Right now I'm going through a pretty tough stage where I feel like a deep loneliness when I'm at home. I think it might be because I've just been locked in my apartment, and I've like adapted my life to this new hustle, this new grind. My dream and my goal is to become the biggest filmmaker of all time, okay? And I'm not exaggerating that at all. I even got Charlie Chaplin on this wrist as a little reminder. And I feel like starting YouTube now, doing a more raw and authentic style of content, right now is the perfect time for me, because right now when I'm going through this little deep loneliness stage, the best way of handling it is to do stuff that I like, and that is definitely filming myself and making content. It's one of the most things I like. For those of you who are watching, maybe some of you can relate to what I'm talking about. And that is also something that kind of comforts me. Comforts me sounds a bit wrong. It sounds a bit childish. But I think you understand what I mean. And if it's one thing that I've learned, it's when you're going through like mental and emotional tough times, when things are a bit, that's a perfect timing to use that energy to channel into creativity. I'm definitely not the first person who says that. I know that's a very common phrase in the creative industry. But what I mean is that I believe emotions and thoughts can definitely be turned into creativity and art for that matter. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to achieve with these vlogs. One thing I have been active on is actually Instagram, but I've gotten to a point now where I feel like I would just want to put out more content and be a bit more authentic and raw in my content that I put out. And I feel like YouTube is a better channel for that, but Instagram it's a bit easier to hit virality. It's a bit faster. But yeah, I don't really care about that right now for the moment. I just care about being creative and getting my thoughts and emotions out and hopefully learn a lot about myself. I don't think it's so often where you explain your thoughts that you have inside of you loud. For example, me talking to you loud, like in the middle of the city, about how I feel. It's a very unknown territory for me, and I already feel a little better. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. So what you can take from this is if you've been like wanting to start a channel or in general wanting to start something, then just get started. Don't think about that it has to be polished or look good in the beginning, because I believe that just taking the step and just getting started is probably the hardest and the easiest part. You just have to face it. It's not gonna be perfect in the beginning, okay? But you're gonna find your style. Meanwhile, you just get yourself out there and just get started. I've learned this with my Instagram, for example. Like the content that I put out in December was, I think some of my friends would call it good, but if I can be very honest with you, it's not something I would put out today. But what I put out today, I'm actually very proud of it, and things are going much, much better than December. And the funny thing is, when I quit my 9-to-5 job, I had like 390 followers. I can show you a pic here. I probably have some screenshots. And now I have 6.8K followers, which is pretty good. I spoke with a couple of friends today regarding content. The way I see it, and a lot of other people see content, is that every video you put out, you should view it as a free lottery ticket. It can go viral, or it can totally flop, or it can maybe hit low numbers, but the right person sees it. That's why I believe content is gold. Like the client that I was filming for today, if it wasn't for the content that I put out, he wouldn't even have found me. It doesn't matter if you go viral, because if the right person sees the content, opportunities will come your way, and we love opportunities. It's crazy how many people are looking at me when I'm recording myself like this. Sweden is a bit shy when it comes to filming yourself, but it's fun. By the way, I've probably not said this, but this camera I'm recording on right now is my new FX3. I bought it like 2 weeks ago and I'm super excited. I love the quality, and especially the low light sensor. It's beautiful. And the reason for me even buying the FX3 is very simple. I'm a videographer, I'm a filmmaker, so the camera is my biggest weapon. I went from a Sony ZV-E10 Mark II to this, and the reason why I chose to upgrade this time was this last month has been very good when it comes to clients. I've gotten a new bunch of opportunities this last month, so I thought that there's no better timing than now. But you don't need fancy gear to get started with content. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a videographer. Having a bit more expensive gear has its benefits, but you don't really need it. If you're a new videographer just starting out, I would definitely recommend the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. It's not a full frame, but it can basically do everything a FX3 can, minus a couple of steps. But not a dramatic difference, if you ask me. But the FX3 definitely has some beautiful features that I love. But anyway, there's no excuses not to get started. Anyway, I think it's time for us to head home, take the train back to Uppsala. It's like 40 minutes with a fast train. I'm gonna be back tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Had to stop at a little cafe because my phone is dead. So I had to charge it for a little bit in order to buy a ticket to even get home. So I charged my phone and we just made another stop in the middle of the city. And the reason is this. The sun is going down and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a bit of a summer feeling right now. So I'm actually gonna take this lens off. This lens is 11 millimeters f1.8. I'm gonna change that to a more cinematic lens and film a little bit of the sundown and a little bit of the beautiful aesthetics of this city.